Today in NHL 24, I brought Dominik Hasek out of retirement. We're going to be simulating 3 seasons here in NHL 24 to see if Dominik Hasek's return will help the Buffalo Sabres at all. We're going to be simulating 2 months at a time, see how Dominik Hasek is doing. Let's get this video started. And after the first 2 months, the Buffalo Sabres are 16-7-0. Rasmus Dahlin is leading the team in points after 23 games played, 1 goal, 28 assists for 29 points. Dominik Hasek has played, looks like, every game for Buffalo, 23 games played. He is 16-7-0 for 2 shutouts, 908 save percentage, and a 2.92 goals against average. And Luukkonen has 1 game played, didn't finish it, a goals against average of 6.23, and a save percentage of 823. Hasek is currently the best goalie in the NHL, 16-7-0 for 2 shutouts as already mentioned. Shesterkin is closest behind him, then it's followed by Hellebuyck, Gibson, and Demko. Buffalo is in first place in the Eastern Conference wildcard. They are 7 points over Montreal, who has the final wildcard spot. And Buffalo is also leading the entire league in points, 32 points, 16-7-0. New Jersey's in second, 14-4-3, and Boston in third, 15-6-1. Scroll the rest of these teams. Your favorite team is doing entering December. Taking up the rear are the New York Islanders, 7-14-1. Now with that, we're going to go ahead and simulate 2 more months. At the 4-month mark in the NHL season, the Buffalo Sabres find themselves at 32-16-1. The team's points leader continues to be Rasmus Dahlin, 8 goals, 45 assists for 53 points after 49 games. Hasek has played all 49 games for Buffalo. Luukkonen has 2 games, that makes it 51, but Buffalo's only played 49 games, so maybe Hasek got pulled in some of those games, I don't know. 32-16-1 for 3 shutouts, a 917 save percentage, and a 2.69 goals against average. Hasek continues to lead the way in the goaltending category, first out of all goaltenders in the NHL, 32-16-1 for 3 shutouts. Carter Hart second, Vasilevsky third, Shesterkin, then Demko rounds out the top 5. Buffalo continues to lead the way in the Eastern Conference. They are 11 points over Florida, who has the final wildcard spot. And Buffalo also leads the NHL in points after 49 games played, 32-16-1. Tampa Bay in second, 30-18-2, and Philadelphia third, 29-18-3. Let's go the rest of these teams. See your favorite team is doing at the All-Star break. Taking up the rear are the Nashville Predators at 18-27-6. With that, we're going to simulate 3 months to the end of the season. See if the Buffalo Sabres could hold on and make the playoffs. The Buffalo Sabres hit a losing streak entering April. They lost every game but 1, and that 1 win came against the Capitals. But luckily enough, though that 1 win was enough to put Buffalo in the postseason. Jeff Skinner led the team in points, 37 goals, 34 assists for 71 points. Just to show how close this was, Buffalo made the playoffs by 1 point over Florida. They fell off a cliff after the All-Star break, but Toronto won the President's Trophy. They finished 50-25-7, Tampa Bay 51-28-3, Boston 49-28-5. The rest of the teams that made the playoffs consist of the Winnipeg Jets, Carolina Hurricanes, Vancouver Canucks, Montreal Canadiens, New York Rangers, Buffalo Sabres, the Colorado Avalanche, Anaheim Ducks, New York Islanders, Detroit Mist, Minnesota Wild, and the Edmonton Oilers. St. Louis Blues and the Calgary Flames make the playoffs at 22nd in the NHL. Wow. Let's go to the rest of these teams here. Your favorite team finished the season. Worst team was the Nashville Predators at 32-41-9. Dominik Hasek finishes his season with 82 games played, 46 wins, 32 losses, 3 overtime losses, and 4 shutouts with a 914 save percentage and 2.76 goals against average. He was also the best goalie in the NHL with 4 shutouts. Igor Shesterkin second, Vasilevsky third, Demko fourth, and Billy Husso in 5th. And here are the playoff matchups. Buffalo has to play the President's Trophy winning Maple Leafs in round 1. Buffalo Sabres are entering the playoffs at a deplorable 1-8-1 in their last 10. And let's see, can the Buffalo Sabres with Dominik Hasek's first year back win round 1, or are they going home early? And the Buffalo Sabres upset the President's Trophy Maple Leafs in 6 games. I will say I am shocked about that. And with that, they will now have to play the Boston Bruins in the second round of the postseason. And the Buffalo Sabres win in 5 games. They knock off Boston. They won Game 3 9-1. I don't care what team you are, but if you lose 9-1 in a playoff series, you are not coming back from that. I'm surprised they even won a game after that. Buffalo plays Montreal with a ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals on the horizon. Can they do it, or are they going home? When the Buffalo Sabres go to the Stanley Cup Final, they will face off against Vancouver. 12-6 record on the postseason. Let's simulate Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Can Buffalo start off hot? They get the first win of the series. They are up 1-0 in the series. Let's simulate Game 2. And the Vancouver Canucks answer back. It's 1-1 in the battle of 1970 teams in the Stanley Cup Finals. Simulate Game 3. Goes to the Buffalo Sabres. It's a 2-1 series. Let's see if they can win Game 4 and take a stranglehold on the series. Game 4 goes to the Canucks. Let's see what happens here in Game 5. Game 5 goes to Buffalo. A win away. Let's jump in. After the first period, no score. Second period, 1-0 Vancouver. Simulate through this game. See if Buffalo can get a goal. Win it on home ice. They need a goal. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Vancouver is going to get the empty net goal, and they will force Game 7. Game 7. They've made it this far. I am surprised. Can they finish it off? After the first period, it's 2-2. Second period goes by 6-3 Buffalo. Can they hold on? Hasek needs to play the period of his career here. Buffalo 6, Vancouver 3. Coming to the 10-minute mark of the third period, Buffalo playing pretty well so far. Looks like they are going to hold on and lift the Stanley Cup. We're going to pause it. Here we go. 1:59 left. Buffalo looking to win their first Stanley Cup in history. Unless something catastrophic happens, they are on their way to do so. 6-3, a minute left. Here comes Garland with a shot save, Hasek. 30th shot of the game for the Canucks. 27th save for Hasek. Shot blocked in traffic by Peterka. Power with it behind the net. Under a minute to go here in Vancouver. Out in front to Lindholm. Middlestats takes it away. Over to Power. Up to Peterka. 22 seconds left. Peterka going to take it into the zone. No, nothing with the puck so far. Hit against the boards by Lindholm, I believe that was. 10 seconds left. Buffalo 10 away from their first Stanley Cup in history. Middlestat takes it in the zone. Back to Peterka. Save made. I'm pretty sure that's the Smith in net. Stolen away from Power, doesn't matter. Buffalo, first time in their history, Stanley Cup champs. Dominik Hasek didn't get it done in his first tenure with Buffalo, but he gets it done in his second tenure in Buffalo. Wins the Cup in his first year back in Buffalo. He hit the Fountain of Youth, wins the Stanley Cup, and the Buffalo Sabres win it. In the first season of simulation. We still got to do 2 more seasons of simulation here. Thompson won the Conn Smythe, 19 goals, 12 assists for 31 points. Here comes Buffalo captain Kyle Okposo to lift the Stanley Cup for the Buffalo Sabres here in Vancouver. And the Sabres beat the Canucks to it. Both teams coming from 1970, and the Sabres win it first. And now our attention shifts to next season. Can the Buffalo Sabres do it again in year 2? And here we are in year 2. We're not going to waste any guys' time, so we're just going to get into it. Simulate to the first 2 months of the season, see how the Buffalo Sabres do. And after the first 2 months of the season, the Buffalo Sabres are not off to a hot start. 10-8-2, above NHL 500, but still not a good start. Team's points leader is Casey Middlestat after 20 games, 7 goals, 13 assists for 20 points. Hasek has played every game with an .899 save percentage and a 3.11 goals against average, 10-8-2 for no shutouts. It is Tristan Jarry leading the way, 15-5-0, Stuart Skinner second, Talbot third, Anderson fourth, and Wall in fifth. And Hasek nowhere to be seen on this list. Buffalo finds themselves 5 points out of the last wildcard spot held onto by Toronto. Pittsburgh leads the way, 17-5-0, Montreal second, 16-7-0, Edmonton third, 15-6-2. Let's go the rest of these teams. See how our favorite team is doing after the 2-month mark of the season. Taking up the rear are the Dallas Stars at 4-13-2. Let's see if the Buffalo Sabres can turn it around and simulate 2 more months in the season to the NHL All-Star break. And at the 2-month mark of the season, the Buffalo Sabres are 25-20-4. Still not as good as last season. Casey Middlestat continues to lead the team in points, 14 goals, 29 assists for 43 points. Buffalo, although with a winning record, they still find themselves 3 points out of the final wildcard spot to Toronto, who has it with 57 points. And leading the entire league in points with the Tampa Bay Lightning, 32, 13, and 7. Colorado, 34, 16, and 2. Detroit, third, 32, 13, and 5. Scroll the rest of these teams. Your favorite team is doing out the All-Star break. Taking up the rear are the Seattle Kraken at 15, 27, and 7. Dominik Hasek is 25, 20, and 4 for 1 shutout, a save percentage of .911, and a goals against average of 2.81. With that, let's simulate to the end of the season, see if the Buffalo Sabres can turn around and make the postseason. And the Buffalo Sabres did in fact turn around, finishing the season at 46, 30, and 6, and clinching a playoff spot, finishing 4th in the Atlantic. Jeff Skinner, for the second straight year, led the team in points, 34 goals, 36 assists for 70 points. Hasek led the way, 46, 30, and 6 for 3 shutouts, a .911 save percentage, and a 2.79 goals against average. Colorado won the President's Trophy, 53, 26, and 3. Nashville second, 50, 25, and 7. Tampa Bay third, 49, 24, and 9. The rest of the teams that made the playoffs consist of the New Jersey Devils, Pittsburgh Penguins, Vancouver Canucks, Toronto Maple Leafs, Buffalo Sabres, Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings, Vegas Golden Knights, Winnipeg Jets, Edmonton Oilers, Columbus Blue Jackets, Anaheim Ducks, and the Arizona Coyotes. Scroll the rest of these teams. Your favorite team is doing. Taking up the rear were the San Jose Sharks at 25, 46, and 11. This is the playoff bracket for all who are interested. The Buffalo Sabres, for the second straight season, play the Toronto Maple Leafs in round 1. The Buffalo Sabres are entering the playoffs at 8-2-0. Let's see if history can repeat itself. Can the Buffalo Sabres move on to the second round, or is Toronto going to take this series, similar to the end of the series, see what happens? Well, history did not repeat itself. Buffalo gets swept by Toronto, and they will not have a shot at the Stanley Cup. The Anaheim Ducks win the Stanley Cup. Alright, and here we are in year 3, the final season of this experiment. Let's see if the Buffalo Sabres can win Stanley Cup number 2. Let's simulate 2 months into the season. See how we do. Now at the 2-month mark of year 3, the Buffalo Sabres find themselves at 13, 8, and 1. When did we get Sam Reinhart? He is the team's points leader at 7 goals, 10 assists for 17 points. Welcome back to Buffalo, Sam. Brandon Montour, welcome back to Buffalo. Jacob Slavin, welcome to the team. Sam Reinhart, Brandon Montour, and Jacob Slavin. Nice to have you. Dominik Hasek is 13, 8, and 1 for 1 shutout at the 2-month mark of the season with a save percentage of .922, goals against average of .953. And Buffalo at 13, 8, and 1 is in a playoff spot, 5th in the Eastern Conference. New York is 1st in the NHL at 19, 1, and 3, won a start to their season. Tampa Bay 16, 4, and 3 in 3rd. Colorado 16, 6, and 1 in 3rd. And scroll the rest of these teams. Here, your favorite team is doing at the 2-month mark of the season. Taking up the rear are the Seattle Kraken at 6, 13, and 2. And with that, let's simulate to the All-Star break and see how the Sabres do. At the 4-month mark, the Buffalo Sabres are 30, 15, and 3. Jeff Skinner leads the way at 21 goals, 23 assists for 44 points after 48 games. Hasek is 30, 15, and 3 for 1 shutout, a save percentage of .918, and a goals against average of .268. And Buffalo is holding on to a playoff spot, 4th in the Eastern Conference at 30, 15, and 3. Tampa Bay leads the way at 37, 11, and 4. Toronto 2nd, 37, 12, and 2. And New York in 3rd, 31, 14, and 5. Scroll to the rest of these teams. See how your favorite team is doing at the All-Star break. Taking up the rear are the LA Kings at 17, 29, and 4. With that, let's simulate to the end of the season. Can the Buffalo Sabres make the postseason for the 3rd straight season? Or are we going home packing? And the Buffalo Sabres, with this 4-game losing streak at the end of the season, will miss out on postseason hockey by 2 points to Montreal. Buffalo wins the Stanley Cup in year 1, gets swept in year 2, and just completely misses the playoffs in year 3. So it's just a downward fall for the Buffalo Sabres after that Stanley Cup run. And Buffalo, if Dominik Hasek finds the Fountain of Youth, will win the Stanley Cup, and then get swept in the 2nd season, and then miss the playoffs in year 3. And that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.